So everybody's in line for self-checkout. There's literally only one regular checkout that's open. Oh, they finally opened up another one. All right, y'all, so I'm leaving Target. It is Saturday, February 17th? That sounds right. Maybe it's the 16th. I think it's 17th. And there were 3 billion people inside this Target, probably because it's gross and rainy out and nobody has anything else to do. But I get what I needed to get. I needed a lock for the gym, right? I need a lock for the gym. This is the closest place to go. This is gonna have what I need, so I go in. And when I'm done, I go to get in line, and the line is for self-checkout, and it is probably, I'm gonna try not to exaggerate here, probably 30 people deep on the self-checkout. They have one register open, one regular register open. And one of the female employees that's working there is walking up and down the self-checkout line trying to see what's going on. And there's an older woman behind me, and she says, "Hey, where can I go to have a cashier help me?" And the Target employee says, oh gosh, I'm gonna climb into this car. Target employee says, "We only have one regular register open right now. You can go to register number 4. And the lady was like, "Well, there's like a lot of people in that line." And she goes, "I know, I'm sorry. We just don't have anybody to work right now." Y'all, it's Saturday. Saturday is when this place should be full of teenagers working part-time, or even early 20s or something working part-time. They literally had nobody. But right before I got up to the front of self-checkout, they finally opened up another register, and now you have 2 open registers, but you still have like 100, 200 people trying to check out inside this Target right now. But the reason I go through self-checkout when it gets like that is because I know how to use self-checkout. And so I don't want to take up space in the line with the employee when there are other people there who either are not familiar with how self-checkout works, or they have so many things that going through self-checkout would just be absolutely time consuming. I had literally 2 things. So I didn't really need to stand in the long line. I left that for somebody else to stand with the actual cashier. But this is a problem because the thing is, let me see if I can sit you guys down. The thing is, you have, whatever is happening here, this thing's broken. You have the Biden administration saying that we are at like super low unemployment rates, but that's not actually true. When you think about it, low unemployment rate is based on the fact that we don't have as many places hiring. If you, it's not like they're going through and asking every American, "Hey, do you have a job? Hey, are you working right now?" They're not doing that. What they're doing is they're looking at how many open positions there are in a company and how many people are actually employed in those companies, and then they're getting their numbers for unemployment, right? Well, if companies are closing, mom and pop stores are closing, or bigger companies are laying people off, it takes their pool of open available jobs from, let's say, 100 down to 4. Then you have 3 people working. It looks like there's only 1 person that's not there, so unemployment rate is lower, right? Versus 3 people working, you got 100 things open and it's not filled and nobody's working, then your unemployment rate looks higher. So right now, the Biden administration wants everybody to think unemployment rate is low. But if you go out and go into places, whether it's a retail store, whether it's a restaurant, whether it's even a gas station, or even, someplace that like T-Mobile, Verizon, places like that, you're going to notice that there are far fewer employees and way more customers standing around waiting for help or trying to get something. You know what I mean? So I do not think that the unemployment rate is lower. I just think that the open jobs are lower. I don't know why Target today has nobody working. Like, I saw probably 5 or 6 people stocking the shelves. Normally there's a lot more than that. And for it to be as busy as it is, and for them not to pull the people from stocking and move them up to the registers, is kind of crazy to me. But this is like the new norm. It used to be, I remember when I was younger, you never had to worry about standing in these longer lines because there was registers for days that were open. But the more we have moved to self-checkout, and the more they have moved towards not really wanting to pay people or give people enough hours, you're seeing more and more places where they are low on employees. Because, I mean, you got to think about it. If the minimum wage continues to hike up, continues to go up, I mean, it's at $20 now in California. If the minimum wage continues to rise, you're going to have more and more companies who are like, "Listen, we need 10 people, but instead of hiring 10 people, we're going to drop it down to 5 because we can't pay 10 people full-time. We can pay 5 people full-time. We could pay 10 people part-time-ish, but who's going to want to do that?" So you have more and more companies who are getting, it's such a weird cycle, weird circle, because the more the companies in the states need to pay people to afford to live, the less that these companies can pay people to afford to live, because they can afford to pay less people. You know what I mean? This whole continuous inflation across the board, whether it's food, gas, whether it's cars, whether it's housing, whatever it is, the continuous climb of inflation means we need a continuous climb in paying of employees, which then results in less employees being used in locations. You have more self-checkouts open. You have more do-it-yourself pump stations. You have more just things that would I mean, hell, even restaurants now have robots bringing your food out to you. A lot of restaurants now, McDonald's and Taco Bell and even bigger restaurants have it so that they don't have somebody to take your order at the register. Now you're using that little TV up front and ordering yourself, the little touch screen, and then they call a number and you go get it. You only need one person to call a number. So the more we want instant gratification, the more we need payments because of the rise in prices of everything, the more we just continuously crush ourselves as a nation. Like, it's so weird to sit back and like watch exactly what goes on and think about it from the outside perspective of, you know, not looking at it as, oh, well, Target didn't hire enough people for Saturday. What if it's Target couldn't get enough people because they're only able to give people 8 hours a week? And who wants to work on a Saturday if you can only have 8 hours? Or hell, who wants to work at a place where you can only get 8 hours? Because then you're going to have people working 10 different jobs just trying to get their 40 hours a week or more to make it so they can afford living. It is such a weird situation that we are in 2024. And I don't think we would be here if everything had not gone to absolute shit in 2020. That's my thought on this. We were steadily working and doing things, and 2020 really just fucked it all up for everybody. Put such a crimp or whatever you want to call it in every aspect of life that it's absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I don't want to call this the new norm, because if this is the new norm, this shit sucks. Like, people not being able to work, people not showing up to work, and locations not hiring people because they don't want to pay for whether it's, you know, 401ks or health insurance or whatever else. So they're not hiring full-time. You're only hiring part-time. People can't work part-time. Again, it's such a circle of crap that it's hard to figure out where it starts and where it ends. All I know is that it affects every single aspect of everything if you really stop and think about it. And I don't really know what the answer is. Hell, even for me on YouTube, the way YouTube is paying their content creators has drastically changed. The way they're showing content creators drastically changed. So even people like me who say, hey, I'm going to have this income stream, this whatever else, and I'm going to get to do what I want to do and what I like to do and bring videos to people and make connections and friends and everything else on this platform, even that for a lot of people is now no longer viable. So then they're like, well, what do I do? Do I go get a 9-to-5? Because who the hell's hiring 9-to-5s? Do I go get 3 part-time jobs and hope they'll give me more than 4 to 8 hours a week? Like, it is, I think I was really hoping 2024 was going to be like the good year, the year of hope, the year of whatever. We're midway through February. We've only got 10.5 months left. And if it doesn't like find a time to turn around, I don't think 2024 is going to be the year of hope anymore. It's going to be the year of hold on for dear freaking life, because who knows what is actually happening right now. And all of this stems from going into a Target on a Saturday and there being 1,000 people in there and like 3 people to help you. It's so weird. It's like a weird little Twilight Zone-y kind of thing. Anyway, Squirrel Tribe, I'm curious, are you guys seeing the same thing in your cities? Like, what city are you in? And are you seeing the same things when you go out to grocery stores, to retail stores, to restaurants, to places to pay, you know, your cable bill, to pay your electric bill? Are you seeing the same thing where it's like, where are the people? Oh, and in the self-checkout, thankfully at Target, they still do take cash. Walmart, a lot of those self-checkouts, they won't take cash at self-checkout anymore. A lot of places aren't taking them. But the kid in front of me, maybe 17, obviously new to self-checkouts and cash because he was going to pay with money, which I was very happy he had cash on him. But he tried to stack all of his bills and put them into the money taker, holder, whatever, grabber thing at the same time. And it kept spitting it out. And he was getting very, very confused. And I was like, honey, and I didn't mean like honey in a derogatory thing because my kid, you know, so I looked at him like a kid, whatever, because mine's only a couple years younger. I was like, honey, you got to do them one at a time. Do your biggest bill first, then do your smallest ones or whatever else. And he's like, okay, thank you, ma'am. And he said ma'am, which was really nice. So he finally gets it through. And then he's waiting. He's like, now what? And I was like, well, wait for your change. It'll shoot out underneath. Your receipt will pop out. Just wait for your money. He's like, okay. And everything came out. And he's like, thank you. And then he left. But it's so weird. All these little things that you notice that you don't normally notice, like how 17-year-olds don't know how to pay cash at a self-checkout, because why should they know how to pay cash at a self-checkout? We should have cashiers everywhere instead of self-checkout machines. Yeah. It's just such a weird vibe. That's all I got. Sorry. Everything is covering everything here. Oh, it stayed. Nope, never mind. I messed that up. Anyway, Squirrel Tribe, I hope you're having a fabulous Saturday. And again, please let me know where you live and if your workforce seems to be just in the crapper, because I'm very curious how this best unemployment rate we've had, meaning lowest unemployment rate we've had in so long, how's that really working out for most people? Because here, not so great, just based off of what I've seen. So, yeah, I love y'all. See y'all later. Bye.